You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Thursday, happy Jupiter day, and happy birthday to today's notable Libras. Let me pull them up here. For some reason, my computer wasn't ready to go. Here they are. Elizabeth Shue is a Libra. Not that many today, actually, that I recognize at least, which is so funny because just yesterday I was saying how surprised I was by how many Libras we've been having. So if you see anybody that pops out to you, let me know if it's your birthday, if you are a Libra, if someone in your life is celebrating their birthday, give them a shout out in the comments so we can celebrate them too. Corby's here, Alex is here. Hey, Rachel. It's your cat's birthday, Apollo. He has a Virgo moon. We love that. And his Mercury is in Libra, which makes sense because he's super vocal about the injustices of not being fed on time. And his Venus is in Scorpio. We should do a full episode just on like how to read your pet's birth chart because I do the same thing with my pets. I love that so much. Happy birthday to Apollo. Nick says hello. Hey, Nick. All right, we have a quick forecast today. Really one major transit to talk about, and the moon is pretty quiet all day today. So let's just dive right into it. Happy birthday to Apollo. The sun is in Libra. The moon is now in Pisces. Okay, so the sun and moon are in this balancing act with each other. The moon in a water sign, very intuitive, very sensitive, being in Pisces, and the sun is still in Libra, really helping us find that balance. But remember, the moon is in Pisces. When the moon moves into Aries, we're going to be talking about the full moon on Sunday. So we're making our way towards the full moon. But there's another major transit happening today that we are going to feel, I would say, pretty strongly because it involves Pluto. So Mercury is trine Pluto. Mercury and Pluto are harmonizing. And this transit is exact at about 8 p.m. But we're going to be feeling it all day. So you can see on the chart here, Mercury is at 25 degrees, Pluto's at 26 degrees, but you know, Mercury moves very quickly, which means that by the end of the day, Mercury and Pluto will be in this exact trine, but they're already within a degree of it. Maybe you already started feeling this energy in the past day or two, and it could carry you through to really the full moon. We've been talking about this transit quite a bit this year, actually. There have been at least 4 different times, including today, that Mercury and Pluto have locked into this angle. And, you know, normally with planets, when we talk about a trine, it happens at least twice a year. But because Mercury goes retrograde so often, we've been talking about it quite a bit. So what does this mean for us? Well, remember, Mercury is in Virgo. Mercury is now direct. So we are starting to get that forward motion, that momentum going, and starting to make sense of everything that we reviewed during Mercury retrograde. Mercury is right at home in Virgo. It brings clarity. It brings detail-oriented communication, quick thoughts, effective communication. And Pluto is in Capricorn. And, you know, Pluto's been in Capricorn forever, but Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. And so when Mercury and Pluto harmonize, powerful insights are possible, specifically surrounding our transformation, because Pluto is that transformative alchemist energy. So when we have a trine, this 120-degree angle, there's ease, there's flow. And specifically when there's a trine with Mercury, it always feels like things are dropping into our mind very easily. But with Pluto on the other end of the trine, the insights and information that's coming in, it might not actually be coming from up here. It might be coming from deep within, right? Kind of surfacing, because Pluto is that dark, murky, shadowy energy. And so you might be prone to intense introspection today, really trying to deeply understand yourself. We are definitely inclined to research things, even obsessively research things, because Pluto brings an element of obsession. There's an intense curiosity today. And if we're using it to the best of our abilities, that curiosity can bring insights about ourselves if we go deep into our own psyche. But if we try to externalize too much, that's where obsession could come in. You could find yourself researching something endlessly, or really trying to get to the bottom of things, trying to get to the truth of things today. So really try to take this and maybe sit in quiet, sit with yourself and ask what's coming up. You know, that space and that intention can really bring through some aha moments and big realizations about who you are, getting to the truth of yourself. Either way, though, I would say keep a pen handy, maybe take some time to journal today, or whip out your notes app, because there will probably be at least one point either today or in the days surrounding today where you're like, oh, things just click. Something big kind of drops in, or you know, especially coming out of Mercury retrograde, it could be that this trine between Mercury and Pluto helps us just make sense of whatever we were reviewing, maybe any communication breakdowns that happened, or any slowdowns that were caused by Mercury retrograde. Now that Mercury is finally starting to move back in the right direction, slowly but surely, she's picking up the pace. This trine to Pluto is like, oh yes, here's the truth of the matter. Here's the depth behind whatever we were reviewing. You never have to be sorry, Diane. She says, sun is shining in Pennsylvania. Finally, it's been raining for days. Not to downplay places like Florida that were hit hard by the hurricane, holding space for them. But it's nice to see sun after all the rain. Beautiful, beautiful. So something else I will say is that, you know, Pluto is kind of like dark and shadowy, like I said. So when we say obsessive thoughts, dark thoughts could potentially come through too. Just be aware of that. It's not like this big warning label. This is a very fortunate transit, but there is this, you know, in this obsession trying to get to the bottom of things, darkness could come up too. So just something to keep in mind. Rachel says, my ascendant is at 25 degrees in Virgo. This trine goes with the whole not being afraid to let the world see my authentic self. Yes, absolutely. You are right on point, Rachel. And I think that's something all of us can really relate to right now with Mercury trine Pluto, regardless of where it is in your chart. There is an element of authenticity that comes through with ease in our communication and our thought processes, in how we are even relating to other people with Mercury trine Pluto. So what feels true to you? What feels most authentic to you? Are you expressing yourself in a way that's really true to you? And when I say expressing yourself, I specifically mean speaking and communicating in a way that's authentic. So something for us all to keep in mind. And it could be a day to ask yourself, you know, how am I expressing myself? Am I being true to myself? Just taking that time for introspection, like I said. And then the only other transit we're talking about today is the waxing gibbous moon moving into Pisces. Mind you, the moon doesn't make any connections today. So we just get a nice pure little dose of this Pisces moon energy. So you can see the moon is at 2 degrees Pisces now. The moon moved into Pisces around, I think, 5:30 a.m. Pacific time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And so we kind of woke up feeling this fresh energy of the Pisces moon. It's ironic that I just said fresh energy, because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, as you know. And so when the moon is in Pisces, our intuitive abilities are heightened. And we are more sensitive in general. We're more psychically sensitive. We're more sensitive to other people's energy, but we are also just more emotionally sensitive. So that's definitely something to keep in mind as well. It's like the moon is gaining light right now as we make our way towards Sunday's full moon. And as the moon gains more and more light, we're all more sensitive around a full moon, right? But the moon in Pisces is really going to start to heighten those sensitivities in whatever way makes sense for you, either emotionally, physically, energetically. We're just more attuned to other people's energy with the moon in Pisces, which does heighten those psychic abilities, right? Or just aware of other energy, not other people's energy, like other spirits, if you will. And so what I think we can do with this waxing gibbous moon in Pisces, especially on a day when it's not making many connections and we have this like raw moon energy to work with, this is the time in the moon's phase. And I'm going to look at my little moon calendar here. Yes, refine and push forward. I love the little moon phase calendar I have on my bookshelf because it just has 1 or 2 words for each phase. And it's just a very simple way of looking at the energy. But this is the time to kind of gather that final data, refine, and push forward towards the full moon. And with the moon in Pisces, I really see this as an opportunity for our emotions to inform us about what adjustments we need to make, especially like we talked about. The moon and sun, the moon in Pisces, the sun in Libra are playing this balancing act, and the angle they're making to each other is an angle of adjustment. What adjustments do we need to make to find that balance before the full moon? And so really paying attention to your sensitivities to your emotions. That's not to say that every little thing that you're emotional about or sensitive about is a giant red flag of what you need to adjust, but just really attuning to yourself. And what's this emotion showing me? Is there an adjustment I can make with how I'm relating to other people with the sun in Libra? Is there adjustment I could be making about how I'm processing my emotions or how I'm seeing the situation? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And it's not all negative. Sensitivity can be like, easily excited, overjoyed. I woke up this morning and I wanted to like dance around my house and sing, and so sensitivity gets a bad rap, at least in American culture, right? The snowflake culture or whatever. Don't get me going on that. But sensitivity can just mean if there's good energy to tap into, it's easy to tap into it. So again, what adjustments can you make under this Pisces moon over the next couple days so you are fully in tune with your emotions before the full moon? Because this full moon, as we'll talk about tomorrow, is really a beautiful opportunity for healing. The full moon will be conjunct Chiron, and it's an opportunity for a fresh start in a lot of ways, with the full moon being in Aries. So this is the time to really attune to yourself, your emotions, maybe the wisdom you've gained over this cycle. You're starting to take all that wisdom, Pisces being the sign of wisdom, and make adjustments based off of it. That can be really helpful too. The one thing I will say though, because we're more sensitive, because we're more energetically open with the moon in Pisces, especially this waxing gibbous moon when we're trying to refine and gather data and make adjustments, setting boundaries can be very helpful during this Pisces moon, especially with this Mercury Pluto connection too. Like boundaries could be coming up a lot for you today. Are you taking on other people's energy that you don't want to take on? Where is the boundary there? That could be the adjustment you need to make under this waxing gibbous moon. Like, I need to set a boundary with somebody or with myself. We talked about obsession with Mercury and Pluto. So are you obsessing over something? Do you need to give yourself a boundary? I'm not going to look into that anymore. I'm not going to do the late night snacking anymore. Whatever that looks like. I could see boundaries coming up for a lot of us today. So there aren't any warning transits, but there are some things to just be aware of today. Feel free to ask your questions. I have no Pisces placements. Do you have Virgo placements though? Because the moon will be opposing those placements. So even if we don't have placements in our chart, it is helpful to know how the moon is interacting with the rest of our chart, right? Good morning to you, gorgeous. Hi, Bailey. I find that odd, even looking at asteroids. But what house does it rule in your chart too? What house does Pisces rule? Even if we don't have placements, there's something that Pisces rules in our chart, right? Bailey says, I've been so sensitive this moon cycle and it's not been fun. Trying to not beat that version of me up for it though. My spouse struggles with embracing it, which makes it hard. Yeah, you know, it's part of also that feminine energy. Our hormones are fluctuating all month. Men are on a 24-hour hormonal cycle, so they don't quite understand what it's like to be in these waves of emotions that we have as women. And that's just biological, right? But know that sensitivity can be a superpower too. The fact that you are sensitive, you are attuned to other people's emotions, you care, you're empathetic. These are all traits associated with Pisces. And so that empathy is why sometimes boundaries need to be set, but sometimes men just don't get it. So don't be sensitive about it. Don't take it personally, Bailey. Know that, like, okay, but also your husband might be a nice mirror for you. Where am I being overly sensitive? Where am I giving away my energy when I don't really need to be? So using that superpower and being empowered by it, being empowered by your sensitivity, being able to tap into it when you want to, but not letting it take over, right? I knew you would resonate with that, Court. The boundaries are here right now. Yes. Virgo moon, 12 degrees. Okay, so tomorrow the moon's going to oppose your moon, Diane, and you'll have your little personal full moon moment, which is kind of fun, right? But also, I think it's just a beautiful awareness knowing, like, okay, I don't have Pisces placements, so I can really take advantage of this sensitive moon and maybe tap into that sensitivity that isn't otherwise in my chart, you know? Oh, yeah, and you have all those Virgo placements, Nick. So kind of same thing for you if you don't have any Pisces placements. But I know you have Scorpio in your chart too, if I'm not mistaken. So there's kind of this watery energy you're working with under the Pisces moon. Thank you for the reminder. I got an insight yesterday that I am already healed and not to obsess and keep diving in like I was before. So beautiful, Rachel. Just move on and take care of that part of me when it comes up. Ah. Yes, like round of applause for Rachel. We can all take something from this where we don't have to be constantly chasing healing. Healing isn't a destination that we get to. It's part of the journey. And even if you think you're healed from something, you might see a movie or hear a song and that thing comes back up again. And you're like, oh, okay, that part of me just needs a little extra love right now, you know? Thank you for sharing this. That was so beautiful. Yes. So, Nick, look to your other water placements, right? Because those are really going to be amplified by the Pisces moon. Yes. Sensitivity is beautiful. We need more sensitive people in the world, I think. Yes. Scorpio rising. So for you, this watery energy will be nice, Nick. Such a beautiful download. Yeah. And speaking of, we're all talking about what's going on in our charts. I went to a really beautiful workshop last night at one of my favorite places here in Sacramento. It's a Salt Room and it's closing. So I had to go to this final workshop. And one of my beautiful friends was like, how do I figure out how to track the transits through my own chart? I was like, I've been teasing that I'm going to do this monthly group. Or like at least a 1 month container on how to track the transits in your chart for months now. I've said it to all of you on here, but I got the ping that, okay, it's time. I pulled a card that was like birthing new creations. Just do it. You're never going to be ready. So that is coming. I'm speaking it into existence here. I think it'd be a fun way for us as a group to spend a month together, really fine tuning how to track all the transits in our chart, the sun and the moon moving through our chart, the different planetary shifts happening each month, and just give you a template to be able to do that on your own. Because as much as I love you all being like, this is what's going on for me, it's not really, I can't get to everybody all the time, right? And I want to empower you to be your own astrologer. Diane has that Scorpio stellium. So again, that watery energy is going to be activated for you, Diane. That intuitive energy of the Pisces moon will really be amplifying all of those placements, Mercury, Venus, and Pluto for you. Love that. That is what that card meant. You were a detective on my Instagram stories. Yay. Every time I put this out there, everyone's like, yes, we're so excited for it. So I'm hoping in the next couple weeks, just stay tuned. I'll post it on my Instagram or something. All right, let's come back to our affirmation of the day. As my mindset evolves, I evolve. Really beautiful coming off of Rachel's insight that she shared. You know, when we just change how we're thinking about things, that's part of our evolution, right? And it's not like Rachel said, it's not like one day you're just healed and you're like, I have the perfect mindset and I'm evolved and I'm healed. It's a constant growth. That's why we're human. We're meant to continually evolve. Our situation changes daily. So all we can do is have a mindset that's healthy and work on our mindset constantly. It's not a destination, it's a journey. And knowing that being able to reframe that one thought, even if it's just for one moment of the day, you have evolved. So that can be really empowering when we feel like we're a little bit stuck, or you know, maybe we're stagnant and we're not really like making the moves we want to move and this big evolution in our life. But just choosing a different thought, that is evolution. And that's the power of this trine between Mercury and Pluto today, really highlighting our mindset and our psyche in a lot of ways. Where are our thoughts coming from deep within? Really getting intimate with ourselves. And with our own brain and our own mind with the moon trine, or excuse me, with Mercury trine Pluto. I'm literally screaming in excitement right now. I was trying to use AstroSeek, but that is a lot. And Time Passages doesn't include all the planets for the horoscopes. Yeah, and that's something I'm going to look into too, like to give you guys tools that you can use on your own. You know, so you can wake up in the morning and check the transits if you want. So a few little details I need to sort out still, but I am hoping around the next new moon maybe to launch something. So like I said, stay tuned. I'm doing it. It's going to happen. I promise. Yes. I could get a lot more out of these with that container. That's the goal. That's the goal, to be able to, and then maybe just have it be something that like lives on my website. So when people are like, how do I do this? I can just point them to that program. Or again, we're still birthing it. We're still creating it, but yes, even some progress is still progress, both in our mindset and our evolution and in this idea I have that I want to start, right? And should be celebrated. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to pull from the Cosmic Wild deck, my new deck I got for my birthday, because I had some wild dreams last night that involved animal spirits. So this deck was calling to me because all of the cards are different animal spirits and they're beautiful. I mean, look at this deck, that gold leaf, or I don't know, gold inlay. I don't know what you call it, but we love it. We love the metallic gold. Oh, thank you, Rachel. You are so sweet. If you need any help, feel free to reach out. I will crowdsource on the live streams if I need some input and feedback. I think that'll be a good way to do it. But yeah, I had a dream last night that I was fighting off a black panther. So that was interesting. It didn't get me. I was able to succeed. And then the next dream I had, I was sitting on the end of a dock on a river, and all of a sudden someone said, the humpbacks are here, and all these humpback whales started coming up, and all these baby humpbacks came up underneath me. I looked down, and then they all breached and like plopped on top of the dock in a circle around me. And then I looked over, not that you guys asked about my dreams. I looked over and I noticed one was the mom, and I was like, ooh, I better back up so the mom doesn't get like defensive. And those were the animals that came in my dreams. So I'm like, okay, I think the animals are trying to speak. You know, I already looked up the meaning of all of this, but yeah, wanted to play into that animal energy today. And this deck just feels very Mercury Pluto with the dark and the gold. We love it. I did look up the meanings. Yeah, the panther was very much about like me fighting off an attacker or an intruder, or even doubt. And then the humpbacks were, I think, more about like support. I mean, I definitely could apply it to situations in my life, and it really felt like a group of friends coming to support me, the humpbacks. So yeah. And pay attention to your dreams tonight, because this Mercury Pluto trine happens at about 8 p.m. Pacific time. So 11 p.m. Eastern time, maybe even around midnight, depending on the minutes. Let me let's see. Yeah, it's actually like 9 p.m. Pacific time, so about midnight Eastern time. And those insights could come through in your dreams too. I didn't journal it, but I spoke it aloud. Aw, you guys are so sweet. We can wait patiently for whenever the time is aligned for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I've been keeping you guys waiting long enough. Yes, you keep detailed journals of your dreams and look back sometimes years later and find synchronicity. Well, maybe I need to write these dreams down. And I'm coming whale watching with you. That's exactly what it means. I want to so badly get up there. Yes. Pay attention tonight. Set crystals beside your bed. Yeah, crystals can help those dreams flow through. Okay, let's go ahead and pull a card. Here we go. Everybody joining me live, or if you're finding this video later, let's all just take a deep breath together. Here we go. Breathe in. And release. The card we got was the Deer card, kindness. And the deer is usually one of my spirit guides. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Had a dream last night arguing with some woman I didn't know. It was kind of like some action spy film. A strange dream I don't normally dream. I had a lot of action in my dreams too. Yes, Kat does talk about having a dream journal, and that's whose workshop I was at last night. I'm actually going to go see her in just a moment. Yes, I love that you guys keep your dream journals. That's awesome. I think a spider just jumped off of that. Speaking of spirit guides, I don't know where it went. Okay, everybody wish me luck. I'm sweating a little over here now. Okay, here's what the Deer card says. Grace, kindness, empathy. Focus on your instinct and intuition. Trust your powerful sensitivity. You cannot make that up. You cannot make that up. Trust your powerful sensitivity. The Deer reminds you to trust your sensitivity. You have the power to pick up signs that most people don't. As a graceful creature, don't ever lower your vibration to others. Respond to situations with kindness or don't respond at all. Maintain your dignity and help to mitigate negative energy. Remember that all you can control is how you react. A gentle soul is not a helpless one. Ooh, a gentle soul is not a helpless one. Ask yourself, am I true to myself and the way I live my life? Be in touch with your open, sweet-tempered nature. This is the perfect card for everything we've talked about, getting to know yourself, owning your own power with Mercury and Pluto, getting to the truth of really who you are, and the power of our sensitivity under the Pisces moon. And like I said, the moon's not making any connections. So it's really helping us tap into that sensitive nature about us and not really being influenced by other planets today, which is really nice. How on point. Rachel saw a deer yesterday in her front yard. So peaceful. Deers have always been so special to me since I was a baby. Yeah, especially when the babies play in the rain. They've always felt like my spirit animal. So I love that we pulled this card today. Yeah, speaking directly to you, Bailey, right? Wild. Needed this today. We are not weak for being sensitive. And especially us as women, like we're here to be sensitive, intuitive, beautiful beings. So your sensitivity is your superpower, and the universe is really confirming that message today. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for this episode of Transits today. If you found this video helpful and you haven't already done so, please go ahead and like and subscribe so we can keep these videos coming to you for free every single day. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Thursday, and I'm really excited for tomorrow's episode because we're going to walk through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday leading up to that full moon in Aries, what it means for you, your sign, how to best work with the energy. So we got a lot to talk about, and this is going to be a powerful full moon. It's really going to pack a punch. So it's going to be an episode you want to tune in for, even if you can't make it tomorrow, maybe sometime this weekend, on how to best work with the full moon. Wish you a good day as well, Nick. Thank you for being here, Diane. Happy to see you. Have a great day, Rachel, and I will see you all right back here tomorrow morning. But until I see you next, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.